I'm honored to have Jesus Chuy Garcia. You know, every time I say that, I almost say Chuy Negrete. Do you know Chuy, the folk singer?
Yes.
And I've just, that's why I do the little slow down.
He was my advisor at the U of I when I was there during the 70s. So,
he's a great guy. And you did come out of U of I. That was great to see. I'm going to go down memory lane in a few minutes, but I want to ask another question about the county board. For a long time, the county board, there's been a lot of upheaval. There have been a lot of battles. We have the older Stroger was the head, and then his son. Then the reformers, I think, without really reaching out to all the communities, they ran someone against him who did not win. This time, Toni Preckwinkle, a longtime progressive alderman out of the Hyde Park neighborhood. She is the she's the nominee of the Democratic Party for the presidency. She will most likely, she'll ascend to that position. What's it going to be like with you'll be on that board, she'll be on that board. We have Larry Sufferton, who tends to be a progressive fellow. Who else is on the board? Bridget Gaynor. Give me a little picture of the good guys and the bad guys, if you will.
Well, State Representative Fritchie will be joining the county board, as he is a Democratic nominee from the district on the north side. So there's a real potential for a governing coalition that will bring about positive change to the county, that will help ensure greater accountability, that we take stock of all the resources that the county has at its disposal, that we modernize the county system, that we have truth in budgeting and budgets that the public can understand. I think the budgeting process needs to be a lot more open. We need to take the myth out of it and really break down each department, the number of employees that we have. The productivity of the different departments needs to be audited. These are the things that have been elusive for many decades at Cook County and have resulted, I think, in a lot of waste and inefficiency there. We've got to take stock of that, open up the books to taxpayers, look at the possibility that we could possibly increase federal funding and grants to the county when we have transparent books at the county. I think we've not applied for all of the federal funding that's been possible and available in the past because we didn't want to open up our books. It's time to let the sun shine into the county finances, to account for all of the employees, to look where there's waste and inefficiency, to make sure that county workers are putting in a full day and that they're working. And there may be a need to, cut the number of employees at the county, but after taking a real inventory and stock of all of the resources of the county. I think that and a new majority, including the individuals that you mentioned, the newer board members, the more independent and progressive types, but I think that some of the incumbents on the county board, people like Commissioner Erlene Collins, I served with her in the Illinois State Senate back in the 90s, Robert Steele from the west side, I think Commissioner Eddie Reyes, will be players and actors on the county board that also recognize that there's a mandate out there, and other individuals, Jerry Butler from the south side.
Nice man.
I think there's a sense that there is a mandate for reform, for transparency, for fairness, and to take the machine politic element out of the county system, because it's been wasteful, inefficient, it's discriminated, it's been racist against communities that have been left out for a long time. So I think we're about to drag Cook County into the 21st century, with the machine politicians resisting and, resenting that change has come. But I think that it's arrived, and we don't have the luxury of wasting the scarce and valuable resources that the county health system and that the juvenile detention center, the court system, county jail needs to be looked at. We need to divert people who are, locked up for nonviolent offenses and get them into rehab, get them into job training programs so that they can, become productive members of society instead of, languishing in the county jail with, some of the really rough elements, the bad guys who are locked up there for murder, for all kinds of mayhem that they cause in their communities, and really begin to work on making people whole, giving them opportunities, and making them productive members of the workforce.
I think it's a really good point that you make, that a number of the people on the board may very likely move a little bit to the left, as we like to say. People don't use that term much. We say progressive. They may become more progressive.
Yes.
And that's good, because certainly I have a lot of hopes for Jerry Butler. I always liked his music. And let's hope that works out. You are listening to Live from the Heartland. I am Michael James. I'm talking with Chuy Garcia, and he is the nominee for the 7th District of the Cook County Board. He will undoubtedly be elected. He's going to be a great force for change. He didn't come out of nowhere. So I'd like to do a little bit of the memory lane deal here. Let's start with, let's just talk a little bit about your life, because as I've told you and as listeners know, that they can see segments of these interviews on youtube.com/Heartland Media, or if you go to Live from the Heartland, if you go to heartlandcafe.com, you can find a direct link. There are many interviews with many of your favorite politicians and cultural heroes, and Chuy will be one of those now. So you can check it out, but I want to get some biographical information. Before you ended up in Chicago, where were you born, and when did you get up here?
I came to Chicago in 1965. I was 10 years old. I came from the northern Mexican state of Durango. Durango is where Pancho Villa is from. So it's a very proud state.
He had an Indian motorcycle.
It's one of the larger states in northern Mexico. It has a variety of geography and topography, including mountains, and beautiful Sierra Madre runs through Durango. It has deserts. It has farming land. It is one of the fourth largest state in the country. There are a lot of people in Chicago that have come from Durango since we arrived, that we were part of that wave in 1965. I arrived on 18th Street in the Pilsen community, and I went to a public school there. I graduated from a Catholic school. I graduated from St. Rita High School on the southwest side, where I used to get my first editions of Rising Up Angry, an underground newspaper.
Now we're going way back. I love it, because I was going to say,
1970 through 74. I'm from the class of 74 from St. Rita, and I started, I must admit, becoming influenced and developing my progressive vision and politics by reading publications like Rising Up Angry and other papers that came to St. Rita High School and later to Little Village.
For selling the most Rising Up Angries.
And you used to sell Rising Up Angry, Mike, over at Lawndale Park, yes. Piotrowski Park, with some of the guys.
Maybe you're in there's a movie called Trick Bag, which has it has us talking as gangbangers, as they were called.
Yeah, Ridgeway Lords, Ridgeway Lords.
Over there at Lawndale Park. Maybe you're in some of that footage. I'm gonna do another take of it.
It's a good thing we had a lot of hair and a lot of facial hair, so you might not be able to recognize me, which would be a good thing. So I moved from 18th Street to 26th Street, as we used to call the Little Village community back in those days, in 1969. I've been living there ever since. I attended St. Rita High School while living there. I attended the University of Illinois at Chicago, the Old Circle campus, where I majored in political science. I've worked in the community all of my life, actually, since I was in high school. I worked as a paralegal at the Legal Assistance Foundation of Chicago, especially in the area of immigration and nationality work with immigrants to help them get their papers, to legalize, become citizens, etc. Later, I worked at Neighborhood Housing Services of Chicago in the Little Village area. I was the president of a nonprofit organization for a better community in the Little Village area, Por un Barrio Mejor. And I've been a community activist most of my life.